Hey, this is Bill from Calderwood Percussion, and I want to share with you this awesome project that we just wrapped up. This is a new drum line for the West Point Hellcats. The Hellcats, if you're unfamiliar, are a rudimental drumming ensemble at West Point Military Academy. They're an amazing group of musicians, and they're guys that I've been wanting to work with and make instruments for a very, very long time. And I was both very proud and honored to be given the opportunity to make these instruments for them. And I couldn't be happier with how they turned out. These rope drums they're 9-ply maple shells, which begins with 8-ply killer shell stock. But that 9th ply, the exterior ply, is curly maple veneer that we apply here in-house. And the reason we did it that way was not just for the beautiful figuring of the curly maple, but because of the artwork. This artwork is digitally printed direct to the wooden veneers, which is something that I didn't really even know was possible until a couple of years ago. Woodshed Stage Art, which is a wonderful company that we've dealt with a number of times to do custom heads and other kind of custom printing, dropped me a line and said, hey, we figured out how to print direct to wooden veneers. Is that something you'd be interested in? And I was like, absolutely it is. I don't have a project right now that I can use that on, but I'll keep it in mind. And so when this came up and we were unable to commission the artist we wanted just because she was too busy, I remembered that, and so we talked to the redoubtable Dominic Tancredi and his stalwart crew at Woodshed Stage Art about getting this done. They did a lot of work formatting the artwork to optimize it for this particular application. Once we had everything set and really felt good about how the presentation was going to be, we got all this curly maple, we cut the veneers, sized everything, and did all the layout. Sent that over to the guys at Woodshed. They did this beautiful, beautiful printing. It's all UV cured too, so the artwork is super stable and resilient, which is awesome. They sent it back. We laminated it onto the shells, and we used Total Boat Halcyon varnish, which is a marine varnish, extremely stable, extremely resilient to damage from UV. I mean, it's a boat finish. It's also water-based, which means it's super clear and didn't influence the colors of the artwork, which is really important to me, but also making that move to water-based finishing products is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. The hoops are 15-ply. They begin with 12-ply Keller hoop stock, but we laminated a couple extra plies on the inside to get to the dimensions that we want, both inside diameter and hoop thickness. The outside ply is figured walnut that we cut and laminate on there. The result is a really dimensionally stable hoop that looks beautiful. And then the hardware, there's a lot of, pretty much everything having to do with hardware is completely custom and made either in-house or as commissioned for us. So the snare hardware in particular was something that I designed in conjunction with my buddy Jim Horn, who is for most of his career is a prototype machinist for Harvard Medical School. And he helped me design and fabricate the snare hardware. So this piece, the snare strainer, is something that we've developed a while ago based on just a 19th century design, but sort of a more refined and precise version of it. What is new is this side. So what we really, really wanted with these drums was to be able to achieve the level of musicality and sophistication you would expect from like a high-end orchestral concert snare, that dynamic range, that sensitivity, that expressiveness, and we wanted to apply that to these big field drums. In order to do that, we're going to need, in addition to the vertical tensioning that we get from this side, we're going to need horizontal tensioning. So it tensions horizontal or parallel to the snare head. And we're going to need to be able to use multiple thicknesses of gut. Now this is natural gut, and you'll see we have 8 strands that are relatively thin, about 15 gauge, 4 strands that are thicker. They're about 11, 12-ish gauge. Gut's a natural material, so the sizes aren't super precise, but that's about where they fall. This adjustable butt plate allows us to do that. So we have this knob right here, which adjusts the tension of all those strands together. And in addition to that, we have mounted right here on the mounting block this ball end Allen wrench, which you can use to loosen or tighten these little cap screws, which will adjust the tension of each of these strands individually. So you can really, really dial in this drum Now, whether that's because you really want to just get the sensitivity exactly as you like, or for just kind of a more quick and dirty, if the humidity changes and some of these strands of gut, move on you and they don't do it consistently, you want to tighten them differently, you can do that. And then when you're through, the tool stows right here on the drum so you don't lose it. Additionally, we have a much heavier duty carry loop than what we used to use. This is cast brass as opposed to machined. It's much harder. And in addition, there's a steel ring insert pressed in here so that, no matter what kind of carry hook you have on your strap, it's not going to wear through this. These are cast for us by Mystic Valley Foundry in Somerville, and then the subsequent machining we do here in-house. Yeah, these drums really turned out fantastic. It's something that I'm very proud of, because this sort of represents everything that we've learned and developed so far about how to bring this sort of concert hall level of sophistication to these field drums, and really make an instrument that is absolutely optimized for the mission of the Hellcats or for any other military rudimental drumming ensemble. It's also a lot of collaboration between myself and, like I said, Jim, who did a lot of machining, and of course Bales, my parents. And in fact, if you would like to see some of our adventures in sawdust and brass chips, Bales has been doing a lot of sort of video logs of our shop days, so when he's here. And you can see that stuff on his YouTube channel. I think it's, if you search for Bales 5000 on YouTube, you'll find him. And he's got lots of videos from just kind of our day-to-day shop work and working on these and all the other cool projects we've been doing. I'll put a link in the comments for that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how these turned out. I think they're fantastic instruments. I'm really looking forward to bringing these down to West Point tomorrow and dropping these off with the guys. And yeah, I can't wait to hear them play these things. So I'm gonna let it go at that for now, but you can look forward to some more video where you can hear these things put through their paces by the guys at West Point. Until then, thanks, and see you next time.